Wilbon joins us now. Thank you for that, sir. What does the title mean in Toronto for Kawhi's future?
Wow. We know so little about Kawhi. Still, the San Antonio Spurs had him for, 7 years, Keith? They thought they knew him. Turns out they didn't. And now, does he say, listen, I gave you people everything you wanted, and I'm going to head home to Southern California, my big house down near San Diego? Or does he say, what does California have that I don't have here in Toronto, where an entire nation adores me and us? I'll stay here. I don't think anybody knows. People even around the club are saying, hey, what do you hear? So I don't know what they know even a day after they've won a title.
All right, before we fully forget these finals all the way in the past there last night, you live the NBA more than I do. Maybe you can explain this to me. Seems to me the Warriors got punished 5 different times when Klay Thompson got hurt. 1, he got hurt. 2, he had to shoot the free throws or he couldn't possibly come back in later. 3, they had to foul to get him off the court to safety, so they give back the 2 points. 4, he clearly could have made the injury worse by having to do that. For all we know, he did. And 5, he couldn't come back anyway. Is there not another way to do this that might be a little more fair and less risky to a superstar?
Keith, there must be a half dozen ways to do it, I guess, better. But are you trying to rob us of all that drama? You must admit, Keith, each one of those steps just sort of heightened the drama and the suspense, if you will, in a game where you have plenty of it. I'm actually okay. I know we could have shaved like 4 minutes off that game time, goodness knows. But I'm okay with that kind of drama, the way it played out. And by the way, Klay was doing jumping jacks in the locker room after the free throws, thinking he might come back before they shut it down. So I hope it didn't make it worse.
I hope it didn't make it worse, too. Michael Wilbon of PTI every afternoon here before.
He came down the tunnel. I did not witness the incident, but I talked to some people who were there. And you also have to have different credentials to get in there. Yeah. So it may have just been a misunderstanding that boiled over. Obviously, Masai was incredible. I have to imagine. I don't know for sure.
So emotional.
But I have to assume was very emotional. Hopefully, this is just a misunderstanding that will get cleared up. But it is unfortunate.
Back with Woj. The NBA does what now?
Well, the NBA is talking with Masai Ujiri. They're talking with the team, and they're talking with the authorities in the Bay Area, trying to get the complete story here. And, certainly, and I think Brian said it there, Rachel, like Masai Ujiri has had a very unique story to reach this point in the league, a championship moment. And certainly there was a lot of emotion there, and clearly it spilled over with he and the officer at hand.
And if that were not enough, the other Ujiri story, the championship celebration and the offseason lasted 3 minutes, thanks to somebody who broke the story that the Wizards are willing to break the bank if he'll leave Toronto to run their ship. Is there any news on that? And is there any impact on that from the brouhaha with the sheriff?
No, I don't think there's any impact from that. The impact from last night is that he led the Raptors to a championship. That's why Washington is interested. That's why this job, their job search process has been stalled for weeks, waiting for Toronto's season to end to make a run at Masai Ujiri. And they were turned down once already by Tim Connolly, the president of basketball operations in Denver. And I know that Washington does not want to be turned down again. I think they're trying to get a sense of the chance they would have to lure Ujiri there. But he is a executive that will be in great demand all around the league for years to come. He's turned down some pretty good jobs in the past. He's got a really good one in Toronto.
All right, Woj, I think that's it, unless you're breaking a third Ujiri story before you go. No rest for the Woj. Many thanks.
See you, Keith.
As we said, hope you enjoyed the offseason. Michael Wilbon joins us. Does the association have to change its rules so we don't get what we got?
Once the clock hit triple zeros last night, there was a long line of Warriors haters ready to throw dirt on the grave of Golden State's dynasty. And if you're trying to make an argument of why the Dubs run might be over, you would obviously point directly at the injuries to Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson. But Steve Kerr says, don't bury his squad just yet.
With all the questions hanging over the team, is there any part of you that wonders if this could be the end of the dynasty?
No, I don't look at it or think about it in those terms. I really don't. Steph's going to be back next year, and Draymond's going to be back, and we're going to have a bunch of the players from here, and we can still be really good. And assuming we get some breaks health-wise. Clay, KD, that, they recover. We could be really good again. So I don't look at it from that standpoint at all.
Nick Friedel covers the Warriors for us. Let's go right to it. Do they have to make decisions about Durant and Clay and everything else, or have they already made the decisions? It's just a question of executing them.
Keith, these decisions are done. As far as the Warriors are concerned, the message to Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant is very clear today. You guys want max deals? You guys want all the money? Take it, because we want you to stay. The Warriors wholeheartedly believe that Klay and Kevin will come back healthy and they can continue the run that they're on. They're too proud to say this in the moment, but they're looking at next year now as a little bit of a gap year. Get everybody right physically, get everybody right mentally. After 5 years pushing for the finals, get Kevin and Klay back on the floor with Steph and Draymond and keep rolling. But that message and the terminology from where they stand is very clear. If these guys want max deals, they're going to get them this summer from the Warriors.
So fans, enjoy the new arena, buy more new souvenirs, have a nice time. ESPN's Nick Friedel. Hope you enjoyed the offseason, all 3 minutes of it. Many thanks. Even with the uncertainty surrounding Williamson will be the first choice in the NBA draft on ESPN 6 days and about 15 minutes from now. As they say, alert the media. But there's more to it than that. If you had a draft consisting of, say, all the guys who have ever been drafted number one, who would you pick first in their prime to play in this league this year? Could it be Zion Williamson? ESPN's NBA insider Mike Schmitz tried to figure out a way to figure out an answer.
On this edition of Scouting the Draft, I'm going to show you why Zion Williamson eventually has a chance to become the most dynamic point center in the NBA.
Williamson down with a rebound. Look at the pass. Rejected by Zion. Terrific pass. How about that pass? Are you kidding me?
Zion is truly a positionless prospect. Here's why. It starts on the defensive end of the floor. Now, he's 6'7", but he operates like a center. His ability to rotate from the weak side and protect the rim is high level. He averaged 2.4 blocks per 40 minutes, playing mostly the 4 at Duke. Watch his quickness, his instincts here, gobbling up Nick Richards at the rim, and then he's pushing in transition like a point guard. Look at his ability to thread the needle here to RJ Barrett. You don't see guys 6'7", 285 pounds who can make a bounce pass like that on the move. RJ Barrett finishes the and one. So we can play like a center defensively and a point guard in the open court. Now, people might say, okay, Zion, he's 6'7". How is this guy ever going to play center on the defensive end? Well, he has incredible instincts and he plays like a 7-footer. When he can get to that launching pad, look at how big he plays. That's against a 6'8" guy in DeAndre Hunter, a potential top 5 pick. He volleyball spikes that, so he can really protect the rim for a guy his size. And then on the other end of the floor, there are no 4s, no 5s who can guard him. Nobody can keep him in front, whether it's Rudy Gobert. No center in the NBA can guard this guy in space. Watch him blow by DJ Harvey here with the crossover, and then he's going to force John Mooney to help up the lane. He has a great line of vision on the drop-off to Javin DeLaurier. That is a high-level read. So again, defensively, he can play as a small ball 5, and then offensively, he can initiate the majority of your offense. So Zion Williamson is going to be a mismatch nightmare in the NBA.
Metrics. We need metrics plays. ESPN's NBA draft projections give Zion a 59% chance to reach an all-star level of play, second best of any prospect in the last 15 drafts, behind only Anthony Davis. Those projections take into account a player's AAU and college production, ESPN draft expert rankings, and measurables.
I can't believe what happened last night. Thoroughly entertaining game. Of course, some disappointing moments. We're going to get into all of that. But quick thoughts just witnessing what Toronto was able to do winning their first championship.
You know, Coach, I thought they defended better than the defending champs. I thought they played with more force, and they were just more physical than the Golden State Warriors. You know, the injuries obviously is one thing, but I think they just wore down the Warriors.
There's no question they had greater depth, and they were able to do the things that they've been used to doing and wanting to execute, whereas there were so many adjustments that Golden State had to try to make at both ends of the floor, just to free up the guys that could make shots and score for them. It changed their defense at the same time. Obviously, you can't lose players of the magnitude that they did and expect to win a championship, but boy, did they give every ounce that they had in them.
Now, what about legacy? Of course, that's the question that's always asked when we look at Kawhi Leonard. Is he an instant Hall of Famer? When we look at what he was able to do in the finals, going back to the Spurs, is he a first balloter?
He's a Hall of Famer, and I would have to say yes, he's a first ballot guy.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I think you go back to what he did with the San Antonio Spurs. He's still young. He's 27 years old, but his resume is full with championships, with MVPs, Defensive Player of the Years, All-Stars, All-NBA. I think, obviously we should see more greatness from him from time to come. So I would say definitely he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Now, of course, we know that game was invented by a Canadian. The first NBA game was played north of the border, the country of Canada coming full circle with Toronto winning this championship.